Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Luke, your pain recovery coach. I'm actually out and about today. I'm in Barbican, which is an estate in London, which is this really interesting brutalist architecture. And I just thought I'd come for a walk because it's a really nice day out, and I thought I'd make this video because I wanted to talk about the role of negative stories and superstitions when it comes to chronic pain and symptoms. You may have heard people in the past talk about being stuck in story mode, and this is when our imaginations become really overactive. And this can be in a positive way and it can be in a negative way, but for a lot of people suffering with chronic pain and symptoms, unfortunately it's the latter, it's the negative, because we tend to visualize very strongly what our lives will be like with this pain if it lasts forever, or what we may have done to bring this on ourselves. And the superstitious part being that our brains are trying to somehow work against us, or to trying to keep us at home, bedbound, or just trying to hurt us in some way. I know for myself that this was huge for me, especially when I started getting symptoms. In the various different types of symptoms that I had, I was really focusing and visualizing so strongly my life, the future, the 10, 15, 20 years, that if I still had these symptoms or if they got worse, that I would just be a recluse, I'd be locked away and I couldn't socialize or go out and live my life as normal again. And that fear and that emotion was actually, probably if I think back at it, a lot stronger and a lot more powerful than the actual symptoms I was having. I was predicting these symptoms would cause me so much problems that I would be unable to just have a normal life. And that was a lot worse than the actual symptoms I was feeling at that time, which was bad. So you can imagine how bad the emotional storytelling was that was going in my head, and how vivid these stories were. What I didn't know at the time was our brains work with predictive coding, which is essentially the more we focus on is the more we receive. And that's what my brain was doing. It was focusing on my symptoms getting worse, on my life being pretty miserable, and there not being much joy in my life or any chance of me recovering. So the more I worried about it, the more I fixated on it, the more I tried to fix it, focused on it, the more it came true. And it was actually just breaking that cycle that was a big turning point when it comes to recovery. And that's the benefit, that's the positive here, is because you can rewrite these stories, and actually, rather than just having you recover from pain, it can actually help you live a much more fulfilled life, a better life than you had even before you got these symptoms. Because these symptoms come into your life for a reason. I believe they teach you a lesson, and not in a lesson in like a bad way, like you've done something wrong and you deserve to have a lesson. But what I mean is, your subconscious is trying to tell you something, that it's time for a change possibly, or it's time to act on something maybe that you haven't acted on in a while. But in any case, it can be a real positive step in the right direction, even if it hurts bad, and even if what you're going through at the moment is just the worst pain you could possibly imagine. This can be a springboard for something way more positive, and it is a really good chance to see it that way. And it's a good start to see it that way, because at the moment, especially if you, like I did at the time when I felt like I hit real rock bottom, there was no other way than up. Because once I sort of almost gave in and gave up and just stopped worrying, because I just felt like, okay, I almost gave in to my life just being a misery for the rest of it, then actually things started to get a bit better, because I wasn't worrying, I wasn't fixating on it. I was just sort of living a bit more recklessly and not focusing on what could possibly go wrong, because in a way it kind of already had. So what I like to do, especially with my clients and with myself, is work on, first of all, working on removing the fear from the pain and symptoms is the first thing. The first step, we're going to meet you where you are. I'm not trying to jump 10 steps ahead. It's one step at a time. And it's removing the fear from the pain, which will start to see your symptoms improve and recede. And then it's planning for a life beyond that, because almost everyone will have a relapse in some sort of form of symptom, but if you've got the tools to deal with it, it's not a problem at all. I get occasional symptoms at times, it flares up occasionally, but because I know how to deal with it, I know that it's not going to last forever, and I know it's just because of maybe I've had a bit of stress in my life or anxiety, or maybe I just need to act on something, then as soon as it comes, it goes again. And I then am in a place where I know that I need to act, and things turn out to be a lot better afterwards, because I've had that signal from my subconscious that it's time to something to change, it's time to improve, it's time to do something and act in a way that is positive, and you end up being in a better place than you were before. So that's the next stage of what I like to do with clients, is once you see an improvement, it's focusing on the future. It's focusing on not having these problems anymore, and not getting a new symptom later on down the line, or doing as much as possible as you can to not keep having this repetitive cycle of this predictive coding that you're going to have problems. Instead, the predictive coding needs to be that you're going to be successful, that you're going to live a confident life, that you're going to achieve what you want to achieve in life, and basically just have a happy life in general. So that was the sort of point of my video today, that whilst sometimes it can feel like the world is against you, and that symptom after symptom keeps happening, and that sometimes I remember I feel like I kept saying that I was cursed. I've really felt that way. But these are just stories, these are just things you've picked up along the way. This is a story narrative that your brain and subconscious has picked up, and it just needs to be changed, and it can be rewritten for sure. But anyway, there's today's video. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Check out thepainrecoverycoach.com if you're interested in one-on-one sessions. I'll put a link in the description as well. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.